The White House Rose Garden was draped in a somber yet reverent atmosphere on October 14, 2025, a date that would have marked Charlie Kirk's 32nd birthday. Instead, it became a day of profound tribute as President Donald Trump posthumously awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian honor. The ceremony was a heart-wrenching affair, with cameras capturing the raw emotion of Charlie's grieving parents, who stood silently as tears streamed down their faces. Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, accepted the award on his behalf, delivering a speech that moved everyone present to tears and resonated deeply with those watching from afar. The moment Trump embraced Charlie's parents, offering quiet words of comfort, was a poignant reminder of the personal loss behind the public figure. Erica's words, filled with love, grief, and gratitude, not only honored her husband's legacy but also struck a chord with a nation still reeling from his tragic death just a month earlier. This is the story of that day, Charlie's life, his untimely death, and the enduring impact of his work. A story that unfolded in front of a tearful audience and continues to stir hearts. While still a teenager, he organized a protest with a classmate over rising cafeteria food prices, a small but telling sign of his willingness to stand up for what he believed in. After graduating, Charlie enrolled at Harper College in Palatine, Illinois, but his time there was brief. He dropped out to pursue a full-time career as a conservative activist, a decision that would define the rest of his life. At just 18, he founded Turning Point USA, an organization dedicated to promoting fiscal responsibility, free markets, and limited government among students. The group's mission was clear: to educate and mobilize young people to embrace conservative principles. Charlie's charisma, sharp intellect, and unrelenting passion quickly made him a rising star in the conservative movement. Turning Point USA became a powerhouse, with chapters on college campuses across the country. Charlie's American Comeback Tour took him to universities nationwide, where he engaged students in debates, delivered speeches, and hosted tabling sessions to spread his message. His podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, became a platform for his ideas, reaching millions with discussions on politics, culture, and policy. He authored several books, cementing his role as a thought leader. His close alliance with President Trump further elevated his profile, culminating in a speech at Trump's January 2025 inauguration. Charlie's influence was undeniable. He was a polarizing figure, loved by supporters for his boldness and criticized by opponents for his uncompromising views. Yet, no one could deny his impact on shaping the next generation of conservative leaders. On September 10, 2025, tragedy struck. Charlie was at Utah Valley University in the middle of one of his signature tabling sessions, answering a student's question about gun violence. In a horrifying moment, he was fatally shot. The news sent shockwaves through the country. President Trump announced Charlie's death on Truth Social, expressing grief and outrage. Turning Point USA issued a statement confirming the loss, asking for prayers for Charlie's family. The suspected shooter, Tyler Robinson, was apprehended after an extensive manhunt, but details about the motive and circumstances remained scarce. The incident left a void in the conservative movement and a deep wound in the hearts of those who knew and admired Charlie. 11 days later, on September 21st, friends, family, and supporters gathered at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona for Charlie's funeral. The event was a testament to his impact, with thousands paying their respects. His parents, who had always shunned the spotlight, were there, their grief palpable but private. They did not speak publicly, choosing to mourn in silence. The ceremony was a moment of collective mourning, but it also underscored the strength of the movement Charlie had built. Turning Point USA vowed to carry on his mission, and his supporters pledged to keep his legacy alive. The October 14th ceremony at the White House was a culmination of Charlie's life and work. The Rose Garden, typically a place of celebration, was transformed into a space of solemn reflection. Erica Kirk stood before the gathered crowd, her voice trembling but resolute, as she accepted the Presidential Medal of Freedom on behalf of her late husband. Her speech was a masterclass in grace under pressure, weaving together gratitude, love, and a call to action. "Thank you, Mr. President, for honoring my husband in such a profound and meaningful way," she began, her words heavy with emotion. "And thank you for making this event a priority amid the peace process in the Middle East." The mention of the Middle East peace efforts added a layer of gravity to the moment, reminding everyone of the broader context in which this tribute was taking place. Erica's speech was deeply personal. Between sniffles, she spoke of Charlie's admiration for Trump's commitment to freedom, a value that had defined her husband's career. She thanked First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Usha Vance, whom she described as a lovely friend. She extended her gratitude to her family, Charlie's supporters, and the countless Turning Point USA chapters that had carried his vision forward. Erica's words painted a picture of a man who was not just a political figure, but a husband and father whose absence was deeply felt. She spoke of the next generation of Turning Point USA members, calling them the future and urging them to continue Charlie's work. "Baby, I love your birthday," she said, her voice breaking as she recalled how Charlie celebrated each year with infectious enthusiasm. She described the medal as the best birthday gift Trump could have given him, a sentiment that brought tears to the eyes of those present. Perhaps the most heart-rending moment came when Erica shared a birthday message from their daughter, born in August 2022. "Happy birthday, Daddy," she quoted her daughter. "I want to give you a stuffed animal. I want you to eat a cupcake with ice cream, and I want you to have a birthday surprise. I love you." The simplicity and innocence of the message contrasted sharply with the weight of the occasion, leaving the audience in stunned silence. For a moment, the political firebrand was reduced to a beloved father, missed by a little girl who would grow up without him. Erica's composure faltered as she delivered. Charlie's parents, standing nearby, were overcome with emotion. Their faces, etched with sorrow, told a story of loss that words could not capture. They had raised a son who became a national figure, yet they remained private, their lives untouched by the fame that followed Charlie. Trump's gesture of embracing them was a rare glimpse into their pain. The architect and the counselor who had built a quiet life in Prospect Heights were now mourning a son whose voice had reached millions. They did not speak at the ceremony, and their silence spoke volumes. They had lost not just a son, but a force of nature, and the weight of that loss was evident in their tearful eyes. The public response to the ceremony was overwhelming. Social media platforms, particularly X, buzzed with reactions. One user wrote, "When conviction meets courage, history remembers. Charlie Kirk's legacy just found its highest recognition." Another posted, "Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for bestowing the highest honor any American civilian can receive. You have allowed his legacy to continue instead of ending the day he died. Go on and continue his legacy and bring peace to this world." These sentiments reflected the deep admiration many felt for Charlie and the gratitude they had for Trump's recognition of his contributions. For his supporters, the medal was not just an honor, but a validation of Charlie's life's work. Charlie's parents, though central to his story, remained enigmatic figures. Their moderate household had produced a son whose views were anything but. His mother's work as a mental health counselor suggested a nurturing side, perhaps influencing Charlie's ability to connect with people. His father's architectural career, including his firm's work on Trump Tower, tied the family indirectly to Trump long before Charlie's political rise. Yet they stayed out of the public eye, even as their son became a household name. They were grandparents to Charlie's two children, a daughter born in August 2022 and a son born in May 2024, but they never commented publicly on their grandchildren or their sons' achievements. Their presence at the funeral and the White House ceremony was their only public appearance, and even then, they let others speak for them. The investigation into Charlie's death remained ongoing, with Tyler Robinson in custody, but many questions: was the shooting a random act of violence, or was it targeted? Did it stem from Charlie's polarizing presence in the political sphere? The lack of clarity fueled speculation, but authorities were tight-lipped about the details. For now, the focus was on honoring Charlie's memory, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom was a powerful statement of his impact. Erica's speech was more than a eulogy, it was a call to action. By highlighting the next generation of Turning Point USA members, she ensured that Charlie's mission would live on. The organization, now a cornerstone of the conservative movement, had grown from a small student group to a national force under Charlie's leadership. Its chapters continued to thrive, organizing events, hosting speakers, and mobilizing young people. Erica's words reminded everyone that Charlie's vision was bigger than one person. It was a movement that would outlive him. The ceremony also highlighted the personal side of Charlie Kirk. Beyond the headlines and the debates, he was a man who loved his family. Erica's stories of his birthday celebrations painted a picture of a man who found joy in the simple things: cupcakes, ice cream, and surprises. Her daughter's message underscored the loss felt by those closest to him. Charlie was not just a conservative icon. He was a husband who supported his wife, a father who doted on his children, and a son who made his parents proud, even if they never sought the spotlight. As the ceremony concluded, the weight of the moment lingered. Charlie's parents returned to their private lives, carrying their grief with them. Erica, now the keeper of her husband's legacy, vowed to continue his work. The crowd dispersed, but the impact of the day remained. For many, the Presidential Medal of Freedom was a fitting tribute to a man who had dedicated his life to his principles. For others, it was a reminder of the fragility of life and the cost of standing up for one's beliefs. Charlie Kirk's story is one of passion, conviction, and tragedy. From a suburban kid to a national figure, he carved a path that inspired millions. His death was a shock, but the ceremony on October 14th, 2025, ensured that his legacy would endure. Erica's speech, with its raw emotion and unwavering resolve, captured the essence of who Charlie was and what he stood for. His parents' silent tears spoke of a loss that no medal could heal. Yet the honor, as the nation mourned, it also celebrated a life that, though cut short, had left an indelible mark. The questions surrounding Charlie's death may take time to answer, but the ceremony provided a moment of closure for some and a rallying cry for others. Turning Point USA would continue, driven by the energy of its young members and the memory of its founder. Erica's call to the next generation was a reminder that Charlie's work was unfinished, and it was up to others to carry it forward. For now, the image of Trump consoling Charlie's parents and Erica's tearful words would remain etched in the minds of those who witnessed it, a powerful symbol of loss, love, and legacy. What does the future hold for Charlie Kirk's movement? Will the truth about his death bring justice and clarity? The answers lie ahead, but one thing is certain: Charlie Kirk's name will not be forgotten thanks to the courage of his family, the dedication of his supporters, and the honor bestowed upon him by a grateful nation.